Imagine a world where the sun is no bigger than a marble, and the Earth is a giant ball of fire. Sounds crazy, right? But what if this was actually possible? What if Earth was as big as the sun? How would this affect our solar system, our climate, and our life? In this video, we will explore this mind-blowing scenario and see what would happen if we swapped the sizes of these two celestial bodies. The sun is the star at the center of our solar system, and by far the largest and most massive object in it. Its diameter is about 1.39 million kilometers, or 109 times larger than Earth, and its mass is about 330,000 times that of Earth. It accounts for about 99.86% of the total mass of the solar system. Earth, on the other hand, is the third planet from the Sun and the only one known to harbor life. Its diameter is about 12,756 kilometers, and its distance from the Sun is about 149.6 million kilometers. So what would happen if we swapped these two celestial bodies and made Earth as big as the Sun, and vice versa? Well, let's find out. First of all, we would have to ignore some basic laws of physics and assume that Earth could somehow maintain its shape, composition, rotation, and orbit despite being so huge. We would also have to assume that the Sun could somehow shrink to a tiny fraction of its original size without collapsing or exploding. The most obvious consequence of this scenario would be that Earth would become extremely hot and bright, while the Sun would become very cold and dim. The surface temperature of the Sun is about 5,800 Kelvin, or 5,500 degrees Celsius, while the average surface temperature of Earth is about 15 degrees Celsius. If Earth became as big as the Sun, it would also become as hot as the Sun, and vice versa. This means that life on Earth would be impossible, as everything would be vaporized by the intense heat and radiation. The oceans would boil away, the atmosphere would be blown off by the solar wind, and the crust would melt into a sea of lava. The only way to survive would be to live deep underground or in space. On the other hand, life on the Sun would also be impossible, as everything would be frozen by the lack of heat and light. The Sun would become a dark and cold ball of gas, barely visible from Earth. The only way to survive would be to use artificial sources of energy and warmth. Another consequence of this scenario would be that the gravitational balance of the solar system would be disrupted. The Sun's gravity holds all the planets in their orbits, while the Earth's gravity affects the Moon and some satellites. If Earth became as massive as the Sun, it would also become as gravitationally dominant as the Sun, and vice versa. This means that Earth would pull all the other planets closer to itself, while the Sun would lose its grip on them. The orbits of the planets would become unstable and chaotic, leading to collisions or ejections from the solar system. The Moon would either crash into Earth or escape its orbit. In short, if Earth was as big as the Sun, it would be a disaster for life and stability in our solar system. Everything we know and love would be destroyed or changed beyond recognition. Luckily, this is a very unlikely scenario that will never happen in reality. Thank you for watching What If? And don't forget to leave your comments below with your suggestions for future topics.